Well, it's been an exhausting couple of weeks for our fledgling coach. Dozens of interviews, more than half a dozen job offers, and the time has come for us to accept our first position. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 2 of Bottom to the Top. I'm Mr. Cellophane. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day wherever you are. And we have accepted the job with Young Reds. Officially, we're the Royal Antwerp FC U23 team. They're treated like a B team in Belgium, but frankly, we couldn't turn down the money. They offered us off the bat 3 times more than anybody else. And we thought it might be a very interesting challenge, so we took the job. We actually were able to negotiate a deal. It's only a 1-year deal. They would not give us that second year for a little bit of added security, so maybe we're going to be moving on sooner than we thought. But 3,700 euros a week was just way too much to turn down. I think our next closest offer was 950. So we're going to Belgium. And the Young Reds have today confirmed the appointment of Nick Bottom as their club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of the inexperienced 31-year-old. I forgot we made him 31. And he is sure to face plenty of questions when he faces the media for the first time at Herman van der Poorten Stadion. Do they call it the Lisp? We're going to have to do a little research on that. Drop a comment if you know anything about Belgian football. He replaces the previous manager, Gil Sverts. Some factions in the media have been touting Bottom as a favorite for the job all along, and his appointment has created much discussion around the club. He rejected the offer from Venda FC. That was the one that we rejected most recently because it came in at the same time as Young Reds. We turned down jobs in South Africa. We turned down jobs in Malaysia, in Indonesia. And we finally decided that we were going to not only stick in Europe, but we are going to go to probably the biggest country that we could as far as the footballing world is concerned. And we took our talents to Belgium. And upon arriving in Antwerp, we are greeted by the managing director of the club, Sven Jacques. At least that's how we're going to pronounce it. Welcoming us to Young Reds and formally introducing himself to the club, asking us to familiarize ourselves with the organization. The media is predicting us to finish in 16th. We don't currently have a director of football. Faris Haroun is our assistant manager. I'm pretty sure in the interview process we agreed to work with him, so we're not going to be making any changes. And if you remember the rules, we are not making changes to staff just to make changes to staff. We are only going to fill positions that have become vacant. Now, if we go on a run of 10 matches without a win and we want a difference of opinion, maybe Faris Haroun will be set to go at that point, but we're not going to just move him out just because. Club is only entering its second year, founded in 2022. No fierce rivals at the time. Our home is the Herman van der Poorten Stadion with a 14,538 capacity. Great training facilities, good youth facilities with some average youth recruitment. No real competition history of note, so we're a club with a trophy cabinet that is ripe, ready, willing, and able to be filled. Our finances are okay. No transfer budget to speak of, as we talked about before, because we're probably going to be relying on the parent club at Royal Antwerp to provide us with our players, and we do have a wage budget of 17,540 euros per week. Last year we finished 17th in the league in the Eerste Klasse Amateurs. We're going to hope to build on that and have a better season this year. Our coaching staff has very kindly put together a brief report on the playing squad, and it looks like our best 11 fits into a 5-2-3. Now, we've never really played a 5 at the back system. Could be very interesting if we decide to go in this direction. Let's take a look at the 11 in goal. They have Davino Velhurst with a back 3 of Maxime Bisset, Zeno Vandenbosch, and Sofiane Almazad. On the wing back is number 18, Yassine Ben Hamed, with on the other side, Kobe Corbain, defensive midfield pairing of Adam Zanan and Malik Keita, with wingers on the left-hand side, Dieter Van Nies and Marko Mitrovic on the right, with a striker is going to be Gwendal De Galix. We're just going to call him Gwendal, I think. Our top earner is Ben Hamid. Visar Shala is our captain. We're going to take a deeper look into our squad in just a minute. A couple of transfer obligations that we're going to be coming in the next few days and the next month or so. Enzo Kutkin is going to be joining us on a free transfer from Antwerp. And coming in on loan is going to be Lori Krasniki. We'll find out more about these players as we take a much more in-depth look at our squad, well, right now. And of course, by right now, I mean momentarily after we get a report from our supporter liaison officer to let us know that our supporters would like us to play entertaining football. In fact, they require it. That's kind of an amorphous target, but hopefully we can oblige by also playing direct football. So I think it's going to be more hoof and chase and run and gun. We're going to be using those wingers and those wing backs to the full capacity. And I think we're going to be able to oblige if we stick, obviously, with the 5-2-3 system. We'll take a look at the club to see if that is really the direction that we are going to go as we look to set up our tactics and get everything underway for our first season and our first job with Young Reds. So what we do tactically is really going to depend on our squad, and as we pull up the 27-man team, not a lot of current or potential ability to be found. It's a wonder we finished 17th place and were able to stay up in the league, and it doesn't surprise me why we have that media prediction of 16th for this year. Now, I'm wondering, because the star ratings are all relative to the squads, you would think that there would be some that might be higher, some might be lower. But as we take a look at our staff screen, we find out why. Maybe we're not getting the best information. No chief scout, no scouts. In fact, our recruiting team covered is absolutely bare, as is our medical staff. So we're going to have to add some staff members as we move through. Hopefully we'll be able to get full staff in place long before the regular season started. So all of this is coming on the heels of the opinion of Faris Haroun, our assistant manager, who has fair to middling scouting knowledge and ability. So we're going to hope to add on to that. So we'll look at the squad right now, and hopefully we'll be able to get things to come into a bit more of a clearer picture as we move forward. First off, the goalkeepers, 4 of them currently on the team. Davino Verhulst, 35 years old. Now, this is essentially a U23 team. We are allowed a certain number of players over the age of 23 and over the age of 25. We can take a more in-depth look at the league rules in just a little bit. Davino Velhurst, though, is currently contracted to the squad, put in our best 11, but right now expecting to be nothing more than an emergency backup. He's made 6 appearances for the squad over the last couple of years, has not conceded a goal, however. So that's pretty good. 6'4", 202 pounds. Very good in the goalkeeper position. Again, we've got to work on those star ratings, because what we're seeing on the one side of the screen positionally isn't really jiving with what we are seeing on the right side when we take a look at the squad comparison. He's making 3,500 euros a week, which is quite a bit of change considering what our overall budget is. So Velhurst, contracted to Antwerp. Maybe the money is not our responsibility. We are going to have to kind of feel our way around this league. The other goalkeepers are Matthias van Gils, a 19-year-old Belgian, also contracted to the parent club. 6 foot tall, aerial reach not as good. Very agile, however, good reflexes. Positioning is decent, pretty good with kicking. One-on-ones could use a little bit of work. Maybe Velhurst is going to be our answer, at least temporarily. And then we've got Finnegan Keeble, an 18-year-old Belgian who really needs a bit more time to develop. His positioning, his reflexes aren't all that great, lacks a bit of the concentration that we need. If he sees any action, it's because we have seen a massive amount of goalkeeper injuries to the side. Defensively, I'm a little bit excited about Zeno van den Bosch. The 19-year-old Belgian stands 6'3", 160 pounds. Could use a little bit more bulk, get a little bit more strength. Not really as fast as I like to have in the center back position, but he is a massive aerial threat. Hopefully he's going to be able to help out on set pieces, which is another weakness of the squad. As far as the coaching realm is concerned, nobody on the current staff is really that adept at coaching set piece routines, so that may be a bit of a work in progress. It's always good to have a team of center backs, though, in a very similar mold. 6'2", the 19-year-old Sofiane El Mazad was slated in that best 11 to be on the right-hand side of that back three. Also looks to be very dominant in the air. So defensively, the team may be a bit stronger than our initial impression let on. Of course, I take that all back looking at Benjamin Alou Issa. The 18-year-old lacks the speed, lacks the strength, even lacks the vertical ability that we were really looking for. If he plays in the center back position, it will be sparingly, and just because we need to. He stands at 6 foot tall, was with Young Reds last year, did not make a single appearance for the club. Yeah, not really in the mold of the other two. And rounding out our potential back three is Noah Wines, the 20-year-old. Again, not nearly as strong as we would like a 6'4", 189-pound young man to be. But again, very good in the air. Has to work on how he works the ball with his head when he gets up there. But his marking is excellent. Positioning, very good. I love the aggression. I like the mentals on this kid. His tackling ability is very solid. So maybe that 5 at the back might not be the worst shout in the world. However, depth-wise, we're not quite there. Yassine Ben Hamed figures to be our starting left back or left wing back, whichever position we want to use him in. He's got some quickness, great natural fitness. The stamina could use a little bit of work. I wish he was better on the ball, but his crossing ability is absolutely fantastic, and he does look like he is defensively minded as well. Very strong left foot. Not too bad. 19 appearances over the last couple of years for Young Reds. He has added a goal as well in his time. The 20-year-old is probably going to be starting on that left side of the defense for us. And the reason he's probably starting is because the man who probably should be starting is going to be heading out on loan in the middle of August. Larit Krasnicki is going to be joining Roda JC Kerkrade, standing at 5'10", very good with the ball, decent crosser, decent defensively, just a more overall well-rounded and balanced defensive player. But unfortunately, he's only going to be with us for a couple more weeks. Now, we almost missed him when evaluating our center backs. Someone who might struggle to get playing time simply because of his age, especially if we have to start Old Man River in goal. 37-year-old Maxime Bisset. He's a beast. He is 6'4", 196 pounds, incredibly strong. Aerial, like you would not believe that ability. Decent defensively, but slow as molasses. Not sure if the 31-year-old is going to get as much playing time as maybe his skills deserve. I am a little worried about the pace. However, maybe if we can just stick him up at maybe 3 in the back isn't too bad. He can just stay back there and then go up on set pieces and hope that we don't need to have him come back quickly on defense. It's a thought. Rounding out our look at the defense, we're going to switch over to the right-hand side. Kobe Corbin is 18 years old, stands at 5'9", 158 pounds. Pretty good. He's a little bit better with the ball than his counterpart on the left-hand side. Can cross it. Nice tackling, a decent marking, good positioning, good teamwork. Work rate is okay. Makes good decisions, though. Decent pace. We'd like a little bit more speed in the wing-back position, but Corbin, not a bad shout. He's also homegrown at the club, which always helps out. And hanging out back there with him, a solid backup, 6'4", 185 pounds. You usually don't see that in an outside defender. A very average player is the 20-year-old from the Netherlands in Lucas Lendfers. Again, I think depth is going to be an issue with this squad. I don't know how many moves we're going to be able to make, what we're going to be able to do to shore it up. We may just have to do whatever we can with what we are given. Guess we'll see. Our top choice in the defensive midfield is going to be Malik Keita. Very solid, 6 foot, 149 pounds. So he does kind of lack the strength, again, that we would like to see. Maybe they just grow them thin and wiry in Antwerp, but his mental abilities are very solid across the board. He's got some nice pace. He can even play in a more advanced midfield position. So I think holding down the base of our midfield, Keita is a very good option. Most likely pairing for Keita is going to be Adam Zanan, the 20-year-old dual national from Belgium and Morocco. Again, lacks a little bit of the strength that we're looking for. Not nearly as quick on the ball. Stands at 5'9", 156 pounds. Makes great decisions. Very determined player. Excellent teamwork. Excellent positioning. His work rate is solid. Tackling is top notch. Could be a very good defensive pair if we decide to move forward with that 5-3-2 or the 5-2-3, I should say, which kind of maybe looking that way. Maybe a 4-2-3-1. We'll look as we get into our tacklers. If we do a 4-2-3-1, having the 2 central defensemen will give us more depth options and make us not as thin in the position. So we're still weighing our options, but trying something new is very appealing. Trying something tried and true that maybe fits our squad a little bit better, still to be determined. And without going too in depth with our attacking options, the theme of solid if unspectacular comes out with Peter Van Hees, who can play basically any of the attacking positions. Dieter Van Hees, same situation, probably more of either a left winger who likes to cut inside, maybe playing on the right-hand side, as he has a very strong right foot. We've got Gwendal, who we looked at as a potential right wing option. Very good finishing, good first touch. His dribbling and crossing not nearly as strong as we would want to be, so maybe that winger position isn't necessarily for him. Visar Shala is a very solid option for the middle if we do decide to go with that 4-2-3-1, which is a decision we're going to be coming to in just a couple of moments as we look to set up a primary tactic that we're going to train throughout our friendly campaign in the preseason before we hit real action at the end of the month of August. But yeah, we have a lot of players who are okay at a couple of things. Not a ton of guys who are really good overall, all-around players. Like, do we want Susi as a pressing forward with 5 strength? Probably not. Which leads us to our initial tactical setup. We're going with a direct counterattack 4-2-3-1 with a pair of defensive midfielders to really take advantage of our strengths, which is in the center of the pitch with Van den Bosch and El Mazad at the back with Keita and Zanan ahead of them, forming that central core of the defense. Shala is going to be in the middle playing almost like a second striker. We don't really want to go full shadow striker, but he is going to be in an attacking midfielder role with Van Hees and Mitrovic on the wings. Obviously, this is all subject to change as we get through our preseason and we get to really evaluate the squad on the pitch with Gwendal up top because that's probably where he is best suited. Very talented, just the passing ability isn't exactly where we want him to be, with a couple of wingbacks on support in Ben Hamed and Corbin, with Old Man River Velhurst in the goal. Just how far is this going to take us? Well, only time will tell. Join us for the next episode as we get into our regular season action. We're going to set the team up. We're going to make sure we've got everybody where they need to be, make any tactical tweaks that need to happen so we can have the most successful first season of any FM Journeyman ever. Okay, probably not, but mid-table, maybe? If you like that, please make sure you hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm get this video out to as many people as possible. And of course, helps the channel grow, which just means more FM24 content down the road. Also, make sure you can support the channel in another way. It doesn't cost you anything. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications so you know when the next episode is going to hit. Thank you, everybody, for all of your support so far. Episode 1 has taken off like gangbusters. Let us keep the ball rolling, and I hope to see you back real soon. Until then, bye-bye.